Let's see. Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Um, welcome to the Halloween movie chat. Let me introduce my guests. I have Stig Kenobion and I
Hello
have
there.
Miss Martin Muses on.
Hello.
We have the Rose and shall we say the Thorn?
That's a good point.
Oh.
I
Oh
couldn't I
gosh.
couldn't help but go there with the introduction the way I did it. So hey, we're starting off real well. Um this is going to be interesting because I am a newbie to the franchise. I They had a marathon on television, so I watched one right after the other and the way they put it out. So um it got a little confusing for me.
Well, it depends. Did you watch all the way up to when they were doing the newest one where they pretended all the other movies didn't exist?
No, I didn't
Okay.
see that one. I saw Halloween, Halloween 2, then Halloween 2, then Season of the Witch or whatever it is.
Oh yeah.
Um, Halloween Resurrection, um, Halloween 4, Halloween 5,
And then H2O, was that one of them?
H2O,
Yeah,
and
but there's one in
H2O.
between H2O and 5. It has Paul Rudd in it.
Oh, I love Paul Rudd.
And that's the one I
Yeah.
didn't yeah, that's the one I didn't see. And it got very confusing um because first it's Jamie Lee Curtis, right? And that's the original one.
Yeah.
Halloween 1 and 2. And then they did a Halloween 1 and 2 that she wasn't in.
Yeah, the remakes.
Yeah, see, and those were really bloody compared to the other.
Oh, yeah,
I
it's made
mean,
by Rob Zombie.
completely different off. And oh, no wonder. Okay, now I understand why it was so blood and gore. Um, yeah, I enjoyed the Jamie Lee Curtis one, but I never quite understood. Now, in that one, I understood where they're going. Hi, Subhuman. Hi, Apollo Patriot. Um, where they were going with this because the Jamie Lee Curtis one, it just kind of started, okay?
Yeah,
And
it
you were you were
basically
up
it
in
became a mess after the second one.
yeah, you were kind of I was kind of up in the air since I hadn't ever seen I saw 4 and 5, okay, but I never saw the beginning of how this all started. And I figured, okay, if I'll watch those.
Hmm.
And it didn't fill me in any more than what 4 and 5 did, actually. And it was like, well, how did he get the way he got? And then I saw the remake, and that one was way out in left field. I mean, I understood how he got the way he did with that one, but you never saw that in the Jamie Lee Curtis versions of it. What do you guys think?
Well, I felt like in the original one, they were basically just saying sometimes evil is just evil. The kid was just friggin' evil, and that's just the way it is, just like any serial killer in real life. That's how I took it. I didn't ever feel like they needed to give me an explanation about why he was the way he was.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought kind of the same, that that we didn't need to. But then they just went completely haywire with it later on with the druid stuff and all what have you. You know, how would a 7-year-old kid or whatever, how old he was, know about that, right? And then
Yeah.
go crazy from it. That made no sense. It's just I think it was better that it's just born evil. You know?
Okay.
Sometimes less is
Okay.
more.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
then
it
they
was.
messed around with it big time with 4 and 5 and 6 and the remakes, and it just became a huge mess, I think, after a couple of movies.
Well, the one thing that was hard for me to understand. I know he's evil. I know he killed tons of people, and it was, like they said, they think different. They have no gauge on good and evil. Um, and you never knew actually if he liked to kill or if he just killed to get because people were in his way.
Yeah. Well, the second movie introduces the thing where Jamie Lee Curtis's character is his sister, right?
Yeah, and I've
So he's
never quite.
basically killing family. But in the first one, that's not a thing. He basically just goes to back home to Haddonfield. That's the name of the town. And
Hmm.
then he kind of just spots Jamie Lee Curtis and starts stalking her for
Well,
no real reason.
yeah, see, that kind of got me, like I said, since I'm new to all of this, I I was like, okay, he's just psychotic and he's going home. He escapes, and I understand the reason he wants to escape, but um it seemed like he was just killing to kill,
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah, and that's
yeah,
basically what his character is. He's just evil. He kills. That's what he does. Just the same way other people eat and drink and sleep, he kills.
yeah. Kind of like
Yeah.
the Terminator, but without the objective.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I know the objective was always to kill his sister,
Well,
but
in the second one, yes. In the first one, it's not established at all that she's his sister.
yeah, see, that's what I found interesting about this because it was like, okay, and then you see he's obsessed with killing her, but I didn't understand why he was obsessed with killing her. He wanted to be just him.
Um,
Is
the problem is that they keep adding to the explanation, kind of half-assed, right? With
yes,
every movie, so it became a mess, which is why
yeah,
the brand new one, or rather the one that came out a couple of years ago, ignores everything except the first one. It's just a sequel to the first one because the rest became a mess.
yeah, because
Yeah.
like the Rob Zombie ones, okay, because I didn't know he did that. It was I understood the motivation kind of behind it, because he was like, he wanted his sister, but his sister didn't know who he was, and all she was doing was trying to get away from him because she did not remember it. He had the picture of her when she was a baby, but yet she was raised by other people and never knew that he was her brother.
Yeah, Rob Zombie basically just remade 1 and 2, I guess,
Yeah,
and fleshed them out.
with Malcolm McDowell, where he wrote the book and it explained who she was, and they were trying to protect her, I guess, from Michael.
Yeah,
So no one ever knew who she was.
yeah,
Yeah. To me, at the end of the day, after all the remakes and all the extra stuff, I just like to think in my head canon that the first one is the one, because it tells you as much as you need to know. It's, to me, he's very much like a serial killer. When you study serial killers, what do? They kill. Why do they choose their prey? Often there's no rhyme or reason. I mean, they may have a type that they like to kill, but usually that it has to do with vulnerability. Quite often they get prostitutes, for example, because it's just easier. Because they'll come with you in your car, no questions asked, because they think it's a job. But in general, it's random.
Yeah, I noticed that with him. He was watching her, but he was also watching her friends.
Yeah. It was just like, oh, look, teenager. Because maybe he associates easy prey with teenage girls because he, killed his sister and it worked out pretty good. So it's like, hey, I know these types. They're easy to kill.
yeah. And then he
Yeah.
stalked them until he found out where they live.
Yeah, I found that interesting that he would appropriate different vehicles and stalk behind them, and then when he killed that guy, when he found out there was going to be a party, he followed the guy who was picking up the booze and stuff for the parties they were going to have.
Oh, you're talking about the remake.
Yeah, see, it's very strange how this goes, because first you see the new old ones, then you see the remakes, then you see that
well,
he
basically stick with the old ones because it's two different universes technically.
okay. Hi, Darius Munchausen and Brightest State. Good to see you guys. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out, they're straightening me out about all these remakes and the originals, and if you have something to contribute, please contribute in the chat, because this is interesting to me to see how this franchise has stayed. Even though it's been bad, people have continually stayed with the franchise.
Yeah. Well, basically, you have to consider the remakes a different canon, right? It's its own thing, and it's just those two remake movies.
Okay.
So you need to put them aside in in their own box, right? So
Okay. Now see,
yeah.
what was it? Resurrection? Or was it H2O? The one where she's older and she's at the private school.
I think that's Resurrection.
I found that one very interesting. I really I actually really enjoyed that one and the way it went, because her being older, her having a son, him having to actually take care of her, and him getting fed up with her. I found that an interesting dynamic going on there, because he thought, basically mom's cuckoo. She, there isn't anything, it's like, why do you keep bringing this up in our lives?
Yeah, which is a bit weird, given that there would be news articles about all those murders around.
Yeah,
So
but
it's,
from
it's
his
not like it didn't happen.
yeah, but from his point of view, it's been 20 years. He's dead. Quit doing what you're doing, Mom. It's wrecking my life. It's wrecking your life. It destroyed your marriage.
Yeah,
And he was just getting to the point where he was feeling strangled, because she wouldn't she couldn't let that go, because she was always looking over her shoulder. She
Yeah.
thought hiding away from the world was the answer, but when she did that, she also was putting a stranglehold on his life. Hi, Ancient One. Nice to see you in the chat.
Yay.
I answered
Yeah, it was interesting to see how the mother affected the son and the dynamic that was working there with them.
Yeah. Well, I'm getting a bit confused. Are you talking? Which movie are you talking about now with this?
Halloween.
The one where
Yeah, it's. I keep mixing up the Halloween, 20 years later, and Resurrection.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah.
Because it's been so long since I watched them.
Yeah, I was gonna say because.
Oh yeah, Halloween 20 years after. That's the one where she's working as a headmistress.
yes,
Okay.
that one. I really enjoyed that movie just because of the dynamic that how it affected both of them in their lives, and the struggle the son was having with the mother, and the dynamic that was going on there.
Yeah. If you like that one, you're gonna like the new one from a couple of years ago, because that one's actually done. I really liked it. I thought it was great, and it's like basically Halloween 40 years after, right? But it only follows up the first one. It's like the other ones didn't happen.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's Jamie Lee Curtis having lived her whole life uh, being afraid of Michael Myers breaking out of prison.
Yeah, because that's the dynamic that I like there, because she was putting a stranglehold not only on her but on her child.
Yeah, it's that times 10 in the next one. Yeah, the one I just mentioned.
Yeah. It would be
Okay.
interesting, like Toriel, if you would go ahead and rewatch the very first one, the original one from the 70s, and then watch the newest one, the one Steve just said, because that's streamlined. And it just occurred to me that I should probably do that, rewatch that. And I haven't seen that second one. So then I think you would get a cohesive story.
Oh, and here's the thing. The reason why this series is a mess is because Halloween 4, 5, and 6 have a character named Jamie Lloyd as the lead, right?
Uh-huh.
She's a little girl in the first one, or other, number 4.
Uh-huh.
Halloween 20 years after retcons those 3 movies as if they didn't happen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so this is why it's confusing. You know,
Yeah, because
it's a complete mess. The whole continuity.
okay, because see the way they did it on TV, I mean it was great because I'd never seen, like I said, I saw 4 and 5,
Yeah,
but I'd never seen any of the others. So when they put them on, I just watched them, and they didn't put them on in any certain order.
yeah.
They did have,
It's almost as if it has a multiverse because you have 1 and 2 and Halloween 20 years after. They're like a trilogy, right?
uh-huh.
And 4, 5, and 6 are being ignored because of Halloween 20 years after, right? It's like that bit never happened, which means
Oh, okay.
you also have one continuity of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? Oh no, sorry, not 3. That one doesn't fit anywhere.
No, that's
That
But one,
that
yeah.
was
So it's basically different. There's like 3 different, Halloween. Actually, 4 Halloween canons now, really, because you have the one with the remakes, the 2 remakes. That's
mhm.
one, and then you have 1, 2, 4, 5, 6 is the other one, and then you have 1, 2, and Halloween 20 years after, right?
Mhm.
And now you have
Oh.
Halloween 1 and the new Halloween, which is getting a sequel as well.
Yeah, that's coming out the
Yeah,
19th or something like that,
yeah.
15th.
Ooh.
You need to watch the previous one before that one, though.
Oh
Okay,
my.
so what's the new one? What's it called? Is it just
Uh,
Halloween or
yeah, that
what?
one is just called the one from a couple of years ago is called Halloween, and the sequel to that one is called Halloween Kills, and that's out in a week or so.
Okay, yeah. So
Yeah.
what do you do is if you look up Halloween 2018, and that'll bring up the correct one.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, it's probably on all kinds of streaming services. But yeah,
It
the
is, but the
reason why
bastards make me pay extra.
yeah, the reason why it's confusing is because it's like there's 3 timelines already.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
see
like the
that's
multiverse.
yeah, because it was like I'd watch this and I'd really be getting into it, and they'd put Halloween on again, and it was like, wait a minute, I just saw that. And then it was completely different. It was like, wait a minute. Okay, this is going back, and he's killing rats, and he's killing stepdads and moms and older sisters, and it was like I didn't uh, see this in the Jamie Lee
Yeah.
Curtis one, and it was like this is really confusing for me because it's not even the same person.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Well, it's a remake. In my opinion, even though it had some interesting bits, I didn't think the remakes were that good.
the
I mean,
the only
Donald Pleasance was way better as Loomis than McDowell.
oh yes, see that I was gonna say the only consistent that I like is I like Donald Pleasant's character. I
Yeah.
loved him as Dr. Loomis
Yeah, and then he
because
shows up again, and it's number 4 or 5, and he just has a
yes,
scar after that big explosion. I mean, he should be dead. He should have been very dead after Halloween 2. He was
when he got
in the middle of the gas explosion, right?
yeah in the fire where he told her to run, and then
Yeah,
he shows up. Well, his face, part of his face was burnt, his hand,
yeah,
and I think part of his leg.
which is minimal damage considering the. I mean, it was an inferno. You know.
Yeah. Now, what I found interesting was that the little girl that was channeling Michael, basically.
Yeah, that was Jamie Lloyd. She's in 4, 5, and 6.
Okay.
Yeah,
Was
she got retconned in Halloween 20 years after.
okay, because it was weird to see her as the grown up, as the teen. When Rob Zombie did it, she was the sheriff's daughter.
No, that's Linda. Yeah. I mean, he used the same actress.
Yeah, see that's
Yeah.
what gets confusing because she didn't change facial wise that much. You knew it was her, and it was like, okay. I mean, I love that. What's his name? The actor, the one that did the voice of Chucky. I
Yeah,
liked
Boris.
him as
Oh, I
yeah,
love him.
I loved him as the sheriff.
Yeah.
And that was one of the few things I liked about that. But it was like I said, kind of confusing when you saw her as a little girl and channeling Michael. Then she's in this other one and she's a teenager and getting all cut up and everything else and then getting killed. And it was like, okay, I am confused. I need some help here.
Yeah,
This is not making.
yeah, I completely understand if you're like binging it for the first time and you don't know about the retcons and the remakes and all that. It turns into a mess. But it makes more sense if you you need to put the remakes aside. They're their own thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's basically a reboot. It starts from the beginning in a different way and tells the story differently. But then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sorry, not 3. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6 is one Halloween story, basically. Or you could watch it as 1, 2, and Halloween 20 years after. That's another one.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, because they just if you had watched them when they came out, you would have known it because they said it right when they were marketing it and all. But if you missed all that, right, and you're just binging it's a complete mess.
Yeah, see, that's what had me so confused. It really, really did. It was like, oh my God. This is like way confusing because you had some actors that were in it, some actors that weren't. And then we went to number 3, which was completely out in left field. That was like, what the heck?
Well, the idea behind Halloween, it started with John Carpenter. He wanted to do like a series of Halloween films, right? And the first Halloween would be the first story with Michael Myers. And then he or someone else would make another story that takes place on Halloween, completely different, like a ghost story, what have you. And that would be like a series of, different movies, right? Which is actually what they did with 3, which was shit. But
yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, but what happened with the first one is it became the first, slasher. It started the genre. So Michael Myers became like an icon, right? So back in those days, if you had like a horror icon, you got sequels. I mean, it happened with Jason, and Freddy Krueger and Hellraiser and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't intended to be a series at the beginning. It was just going to be a one-off story. But then it just became a massive success, right? So Halloween 3 actually did what was intended with a completely different story. It just set on Halloween. It did it
Okay.
it did it poorly though. Really.
Yeah.
That one, I watched it today, and yeah.
Hi, Kip Ellis. Good to see you.
Hi, Kip.
Yeah, see, that's what threw me off too, because it was like, what does this have to do with franchise? Because it was.
Yeah, it's basically let's say if you've never watched the Elm Street movies before, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you watched them from start to finish, and you also watched the remake, not knowing it's a remake, right?
Yeah.
Then it's a mess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I haven't really watched Elm Street a lot. I think I've seen one. I was more into the Hammer horror stuff, not the newer stuff.
Yeah.
So
The old stuff's better.
yeah, I haven't seen a lot of these, and it was like okay, they're gonna have a marathon on. I haven't watched these. Like I said, I watched 2 of them, and they weren't too bad. So it was like, okay, I could do this, because like the Saw franchise and stuff, I cannot get into that. That's way too much blood and guts for me.
I think with the Saw movies, if you watch the first one, it's probably enough, because the first one is actually very well written, but then people were like, oh yeah, that awesome thing happened, lady got needles in her, so they just try to top it with every movie, right?
Okay, yeah, see, that's like, okay, I know people are getting killed. You don't have to show me being disemboweled.
Yeah,
I mean, I know a lot of people enjoy that, but
yeah, with the Saw movie, you can watch the first one and you'll have actually a very good horror movie, a psychological horror movie, I guess. But
now,
and it's not too gory either.
Yeah, that's what I'm planning to do. I've never actually seen it, so I'm gonna just watch the first one for my 31 days Halloween thing. Yeah.
See, I like I like more psychological than anything else. So.
Yep.
So I'm curious, Lady Toriel, was this the first time that you saw the original Halloween, or had you seen the original before?
No, I'd never seen the original.
Oh, so what did you think? Like, just pretend like you saw the first movie and that was all you saw. What did you think of that?
I actually enjoyed it. I liked 1 and 2. It was interesting. It was interesting to see, and I liked the different methods he used, even though he's like the butcher knife person, I mean, that's his go-to thing. The terror, I like the psychological terror of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for me, some of the scariest parts are at the very beginning, where you just see all the people coming home from school and with their pumpkins and the music's going and you kind of see it from his point of view.
Oh, I love that. When he's hiding in the bushes and you see him watching people.
Yeah. And I think the reason why that scares me so much is because that's normal. I mean, we all go out and do that. And for all we know, there could be some psycho sitting watching, kind of planning, oh, which one am I going to kill today? Oh, fuck.
That's her cat trying to kill her.
Oh, sorry. Oh, gosh. I am so sorry, Lady Toriel. No, what happened was Benedict. Oh, gosh darn it. He started pressing buttons. Okay, at least he didn't kick me off. All right.
Well,
I thought he kicked me off.
The trick is to get a steel-tipped boot and kick the shit out of the cat.
I'll send y'all a picture later. I did get a cute picture of him with his little paw up there because he was sleeping, but he just went and swiped it and it hit the settings button. I thought he had actually kicked me off. So I thought I was cursing into the void. Oops.
That's okay. That's okay. I understand completely. I have one that likes to get up and walk on stuff too. On the phone, in the face. It's
Yeah.
like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah,
You know?
Father Miller once sent me a funny where it says prep for a Zoom meeting, and it has the cat duct taped, all four legs duct taped to the wall. It's like, yeah, okay. But yeah, he is now safe and away.
Okay, now, Teresa, of all the movies, the Halloween movies you've seen, what is your favorite?
The first, easily the first. And I have pretty much gone back to make my headcanon that the first one is the only one that exists. Well, I liked the second one. But in general, when you really think about it, isn't that the perfect ending? With her kind of being, oh, but where's, the killer dude? And they're like, nobody was there. That's the kind of stuff that really freaks you out.
Yeah. And Steve, which one is your favorite?
Oh, the first one. The first one has arguably the only one with a proper atmosphere, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because the other ones are full-blown slashers. Well, the first one is a psychological slasher, right?
Okay.
It has kind of the same atmosphere as The Fog. It's kind of ominous, the old tone.
Oh yeah, The Fog is wonderful. That's probably one of my favorite ones. Is the original one.
The lady who played the sheriff's daughter who gets killed in the car. She is in The Fog and in Halloween 3 as well. John Carpenter used to use her a bit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of crossovers. The guy, the leading guy in Halloween 3 he's the lead in The Fog as well. Tom Atkins.
Yeah.
And
the more
then
you know.
Jamie Lee Curtis in The Fog as well.
Yeah. Well, it's a practical thing. If you know that you've got to work with people, and actors can be just like anyone, a bunch of weirdos. So people like to reuse the ones that they know are good and that have a good attitude and will not cause problems.
Yeah, and plus it helps for the continuation, kind of like Star Wars, the continuities there. You see the familiar faces as you're going on through the steps, and the one thing I didn't, so the one I watched, the last one I watched, so that one doesn't count, where she hacked Michael's head off.
Oh, the resurrection thing?
Yeah, where
that one was panned, the last one, because that's where she dies, right?
No, she doesn't. She doesn't die. She took Michael's body and drove away, and she had an axe. And then they got into the car accident, and it rolled, and Michael gets trapped between the car, the van, and a tree.
Oh yeah, yeah. But there's one after that called Halloween Resurrection.
Okay.
Yeah, and she dies in that one, but that's like a sequel that got really panned. Nobody liked it, so I guess they didn't show that one.
Yeah. Nobody likes you. You don't have any friends.
Yep. it was just weird because then it's like, okay, now they're coming out with this one. Well, she hacked his head off,
Yeah. Um,
you know, but she actually felt sorry for him. That's what the weird part was, because she knew it was her brother. You see her kind of reach out for him, and then he just got that blank stare at her, and it kind of brought her right back. And then she just whacked his head off. Ah, it was like, okay.
Sometimes you
Talk
gotta be
about,
head of bish.
yeah, it's brother and sisterly love there to the extreme. Okay. Um, I did find it interesting that, yeah, that it's just pure evil. I mean, he's just, yeah, pure evil.
yeah. Which is
It's
the
like,
creepy part about him. It's like the Terminator. You can't reason with him, right? And he doesn't stop.
yeah, there's no rhyme, no reason. There's just him.
Yeah. Well, as I've said, this whole serial killer thing, one of my favorite series I'm watching on Investigation Discovery is it's a show called Evil Lives Here, where people tell the
Oh,
story. Yeah, where people tell the stories of like their siblings or their parents that turn out to be like serial killers and they didn't know, and true stories.
yeah,
Or like
yeah.
one is where their son grew up to be a murderer, and they tell these true stories, and there's really no rhyme or reason. There's just people that are just bad.
And what I think is amazing to me is that how easily he gets away with it because it's Halloween.
Yeah.
Because everybody's dressed up. So you don't think about that.
Yep.
Yeah. And if someone screams, you think someone's just doing a prank, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. See, that's what I liked about it, because it was like, okay, these people can be walking around on Halloween and you never know it because it's Halloween. Everybody thinks, oh, ha ha, you dressed up like him, or ho ho.
Mhm.
Oh,
And
trivia for you though. You know the mask Myers wears?
hmm
It's a William Shatner mask.
oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a classic. Yeah.
It's
Well,
it's Kurt.
Yep.
well, and that's what's the genius about it. Be- Going back to where it is something that we are all familiar with. We all see that on Halloween. And if you were to see somebody looking like Michael Meyer, like alone and going up to a house late at night, you wouldn't think anything of it, while you might on another night.
Yeah, and he's just
Yeah.
walking calmly too. He's not running or sprinting or anything. He walks.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And that's the other part of him that makes him scary.
Yeah.
He
Also,
walks, but he's relentless.
It's backed up with what Loomis says, that when Myers was in the psych ward, right? He was just sitting there being all kinds of patient, which means well, it fits well with him walking because he's never in a
Yeah.
rush. He's patient.
Yeah. Yeah. 15 years, didn't say a word. Uh, waiting, just waiting.
Yeah.
And that's what got to her, was that he was, I don't know why I like that one a lot, but I do really like that one a lot, where she was the teacher, where you understood her phobia, because like she said when she was explaining to that guy, um, it's been 20 years and I know he's just been waiting.
Yeah.
And that's what got her. It was more the psychological than it was the physical. because
Yeah.
that's what was scaring her more than anything and bringing on her nightmares, because she knew how patient he was, and she knew he'd get out someday.
Well, that is what the new one is all about. She's been waiting for him and preparing since Halloween 1 in that one.
Oh, that's cool.
So she's a mental wreck. She's on all kinds of medication, but she's also a badass in it.
Well, that would explain it too, you know. I mean, that has to have so much psychological devastation to you. The fear factor alone.
Yeah.
Always looking over your shoulder, never knowing, because they never notify her when Michael gets loose. They never, and then he's just there.
Yeah, and
You
it's like the
know?
nightmare is coming alive.
Yeah, but you never know when the nightmare is going to show up.
Yeah.
Well, usually on Halloween.
Yeah.
She's gone through several Halloweens since then.
Yes.
Yep. Well, and I think that is the genius behind horror movies. It's the same thing. Most of what frightens you is what's in your head as you're watching.
Mhm.
Like the same
I
way
thi-
that I there's genuinely scary movies I really don't like to watch at nighttime. Now, is there a difference between when whether I'm watching it at 10 at night or 10 in the morning? No, it's still the same movie, but it scares me more at nighttime.
That's true, because of the darkness and you can't see out your windows. People could see into your house, but you can't see out.
And you're alone, people are asleep. It's just like it is in the movie.
If
Yeah.
you want an extra effect to that, right?
Uh-huh.
Watch a really scary movie at night, turn the lights off, and put on a headset.
No, thank you.
Because that's usually what scares people. It's because the senses are being disrupted, right? That's why people are afraid of the dark and stuff. Especially if it's like windy and it's dark, your hearing and your sight has been hampered. So it kicks in your little, your survival instinct a little bit.
Okay, I must be macabre because I love the dark. I like to go out and walk in the dark.
Yeah, but that's because you have a butcher knife and a William Shatner mask.
I know it's very strange, but I like it when it's windy and it's dark. Yeah, that's cool to me. Of course, I'm a nighttime person anyway, so always have been. So the darkness actually doesn't bother me. Daylight scares me more than darkness does. Isn't that weird? It does. It's very weird.
Well, in
Because
daytime, you have to deal with people.
I think that's it. In nighttime, I would probably make an excellent person in one of these movies.
You heard it here first, people, and you are warned.
Yes, the elf that slips through the forest. Ah,
Oh my god. That could be a horror flick.
There you go.
Yeah, like you could call it the health. Hell in it.
And you
Yeah,
have your little bow and arrow. And
Yeah, health
Yeah.
racer.
Yeah. Hi, Lasso of Truth. It's glad that you could come by. Yeah, we're talking about that. Yeah. Say,
Nightmare on Elf Street.
yeah. I got one for you. I just thought of it. The Elf in the Darkness.
Yeah, that too.
Killer elf. I mean, look at where she was at and all the spiders and everything. That was Mirkwood was dark and dingy and bad when she was there.
You could do
the Elfercist.
or a hollow weenie, but that would
Oh
probably
my
be porn, wouldn't
God.
it?
Oh my God. Yes.
Myers comes home.
Oh my Lord.
Here we go.
Jamie Lee, starring Jamie Lee Curtis.
Oh Lord.
No.
Oh Lordy, help me. Oh. Oh my God.
The
Here we
elf
go.
that rocks the cradle.
Yeah.
Rosemary's
one.
Elf,
That
The Elf
one.
Exorcist.
Yeah.
Oh Lord. Here we go. Exorcist. Oh.
Ugh.
That was a very I really enjoyed that horror movie. The Hand
The
That Rocks
Exorcist?
the Cradle.
Oh, Hand Rocks the
No, the
Cradle.
hand.
Oh.
That you talk about psychological. That was a very psychological movie. That's kind of like what was the one with Harrison Ford in it?
Yeah, when he's a villain.
Yeah, when he's the teacher that has the affair. What Lies Beneath?
Yeah,
Is that
Oh.
what it's
him
called?
and Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yes. Yes, that was an excellent psychological movie.
I think that's the only movie where Harrison Ford dies.
Well,
Have
he
you
dies
never
in The Force Awakens, but that doesn't count.
Oh yeah, yeah.
have you never seen that one, Teresa?
You know, I don't think I have, now that you mention it.
You will have to watch that because that would be considered a horror movie, but it's a psychological horror movie.
Mhm.
You'd enjoy that one. I know you would because you like you're kind of like me in a lot of ways when it comes to that. You like more of the psych thriller horror than the blood and guts horror.
Yeah. Well, but also, speaking of psychological, there's that scene in Halloween where the person has a washer and dryer that's not attached to the house. Is that and everyone can kind of relate to that if you've ever been in a house where you usually do your laundry maybe at nighttime and you
Mhm.
just can't go out into the laundry without thinking about that.
Don't
She
turn
got
on the
stuck in the
light.
window too, like a twat.
Yeah. Don't turn on the light. Don't turn on the light.
Yeah. It's like you run out, you run back in.
Yeah, it's there's a lot. That's like I know people really hate them, but I love the Scream series, the Scream movies. I do. I enjoy the heck out of those movies. That's probably one of my guilty pleasures, but I really do. Just for the scare of it, I think. Because
I
it was
never.
done well, actually. They really were. Even though people don't like them,
Yeah,
I enjoyed
I
them.
like it, but it's like I never found them to be scary because the villains were so goofy, basically. But it's entertaining as hell. But it's just I never found them to be scary though. I was just sitting there thinking, it's kind of like Friday the 13th. You're kind of just sitting there guessing who gets killed first. You know.
Oh, yeah, well, that's kind of like Final Destination.
Oh, those are fun. That's humor
I
movies.
love Final Destination.
It's like, talk about inventive ways for death to come at you. It's like, oh my gosh.
It's almost like Roadrunner,
Yes,
like some
is.
stupid trap backfiring, or some Tom and Jerry stuff, or whatever. That's how they die.
You are correct. Oh my gosh.
Oh, Lasso of Truth. See, she liked the Scream movies. Maybe you and I will have to do a stream about that. Lasso of Truth. We can talk Scream movies since, yeah. There's I yeah, it's just fun to me. There's so many different types of horror in the
Yeah,
genre.
it's just like
And
sci-fi. There's different sci-fi too, or
uh,
even different fantasy, right?
Mhm.
yeah, and it's not everybody's cup of tea. That's like House of a Thousand Corpses with, Rob Zombie movies. Now, those are really, really out there. Um, the only one of his that I liked that was his first one. It had Woody Harrelson and Robert Downey Jr. Um,
Hmm.
Natural Born Killers.
Now that's Oliver Stone.
That wasn't Rob Zombie?
No.
No, Oliver
Oh, okay.
Stone. But good movie though.
Didn't it have
Oh,
Juliette
yeah.
Lewis in it?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yeah. I enjoyed the heck out of that one, even though it was very interesting.
Natural Porn Killers.
But yeah, I
With
think
Woody.
maybe
Sorry.
no, don't go there. Don't go there. I think that's probably why I was getting so confused with the Halloween movies, because I really enjoyed them because of just the psychological who's going to get it next, and interesting how people were just basically letting him kill them because of Halloween, unless and the ominous the way he always was, where he just stands there.
Yeah.
And that's what always got me, because I'm like, run, you fool. I feel like yeah, it's like, fly, you fools. Get the hell out of here. And I'm talking to the television going, why are you standing there saying hello?
Yeah, and Jamie
Hello?
Lee Curtis in the first two movies is a damn moron. I mean, she stabs the guy right with a knitting pin, and he falls over, and then she sits down on the couch when he's on the floor behind the couch. She's just sitting
Yeah,
there. Oh, I guess he's dead. I poked him with a needle, and then
yeah,
later on, every damn time he gets close to her when she's been hiding, she starts screaming and gives away her position.
yeah, it just, in all of these, no matter if it was the remake or the originals, these people are like, hello, hello, what do you want? What do you want? Okay, you got a guy in silhouette in the light standing in your doorway with a butcher knife in his hand. What do you think he wants? Get
Yeah.
up and get the hell out of there.
Yeah. No, I'll just sit around and think deep thoughts.
Yeah, it's like, oh, he's walking towards me. Run.
Yeah.
Okay?
And she's like,
Run for your life.
why does he have a butcher knife? There's no pigs or anything in my apartment.
Yes.
How quaint.
Yeah, it's, oh, that always, that's like, there's one commercial that I love, and they've started playing it again. I think it's a insurance commercial, something like that, and it's got all the teams, and they're running around, and they're in a horror movie, and it's like, people make bad decisions, and you see them all running, and it's like, we need to go to the house. No, no, no. We need to run into the cornfield. And then the one girl goes, why don't we just get into the car that's running over here? And they're like, that'll be the first place he'll look. No, let's run into garage where all the chainsaws and hooks are, and then you see them running there, and they're behind all these chainsaws and stuff, and the guy's standing behind them with a chainsaw and a mask. You know, and
Yeah.
it just cracks me up because it's like, how true, how true. They do that in all these horror movies. You know, it's like, no, let's not run out the front door. Let's run up 2 flights of steps and be on the 3rd floor, and we're cornered.
Yes.
Yeah, and another thing is, early on in the movie, you see people, get into the car and start it and drive off to somewhere, right? Later on, while they're
Mhm.
being chased, they get into the car and start fumbling for the right key, because apparently now they have 12 or 16 keys on the same keychain. And, they found the right key right away earlier in the movie, but since, the killer's chasing them, they have to fumble for the key. And then they always drop it onto the floor of the car,
Yeah,
right? And
or
then when they
else,
get up, you see the killer outside the window.
yes, or they're there and they can't get the car started. There's never
Yeah.
been a problem with it before.
Yeah. Damn it, I'm out of gas. And the key doesn't fit.
Uh-huh. Oh, Lasso of Truth, you like that commercial too? Yeah, it's hilarious. I love that commercial.
I saw one horror movie once. I can't remember the name, but it was like a haunting demon thing. And at the beginning, as soon as they saw something it was a group of friends, right? And they saw something, creepy in the house. The black guy goes, "Fuck this, I'm out." So he ran. And we don't see him until the end of the movie when he's jogging down a highway. He got away because he ran right away.
Yeah, the only person with brains in his head.
Yeah.
Screw it.
Yeah,
I'm
he
gone.
said, "Fuck this, I'm out," and he ran. And then, an hour and a half later or whatever it was, there he is, jogging towards a town to safety. Survive.
What movie was it? Was it the Scream movies? I can't remember. Where somebody was talking and it was like, oh, it was the Scream movies. It was like, have you never seen any of these movies?
Yeah.
It was like, don't you get it? It's like, you don't stay here. Don't you get it? Get out.
Yeah,
It's like,
because in the Scream movies, they had made movies of the first movie, right?
yeah,
Because
yeah.
they had sold, what's her name, Campbell something. She had sold the rights to the story or something.
Yeah, they were making, stab movies, they were called. It was called Stab instead of Scream. Yeah, and I found that interesting how they incorporated that into it.
Yeah, that was actually well done.
And
Third one had Princess Leia in it.
Oh, Carrie Fisher, R.I.P.
Oh, your sound is really low, Teresa.
Oh, let me see what I can do. Sorry about that. Is that better?
Attend to it.
I attended to it. Is this better?
Yes.
Okay, great. Yay. You see, I listened.
Lasso of Truth says, I love it when they break the fourth wall and say something like, haven't you ever watched a horror movie? Yeah. It's like, yes. It's like, yeah, there's a guy coming at me. There's somebody chasing me. What do I do? Oh,
Friday,
no.
the 13th, part 6. That one has a moment like that with the gravedigger guy. He has sips some booze and looks at the camera and says something like, they're never gonna make it or something.
Well,
You're all doomed.
Yeah, that's kind of like when with the Spaceballs parody on Star Wars, and they turn and they're looking at the camera all the time. and saying stuff, and it's like, yeah, why are you watching this? Who are we talking to?
Yeah. In the future, nothing works.
Yeah. And I actually do like that, and I find it amazing because the suspense. But you've seen all these people getting killed, and you're still standing around going, "What do I do? What do I do?"
I
Well,
just don't know.
pick up a baseball bat, pick up a knife, run,
Get
find
the heck out of
anything.
there.
Yeah, find anything you can use as a weapon and book it.
Well, I was about to say, just get out and run home, run toward the nearest town. Screw it.
There was a movie where they were being hunted by some inbred people, right? And one of the leads or something tells this blonde lady that keeps freaking out that every time you scream, you give away our position, right? If you do that one more time, I'm taking this axe to your head. And sure as hell, she screams 5 minutes later, and he whacks her in the head.
Well, she had it coming.
Yeah, I was like, finally, someone did that.
Yeah, knock
I've been
them
waiting
out.
for that for 40 years.
Yeah, and knock them out, shut them up. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like,
because
okay.
they tend to cause other characters to die.
Oh, yeah, it's like nobody knows where we're at. And then their cell phone goes off, or somebody screams, or they knock over something. It never fails.
In one of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies, one of the later ones, Leatherface finds a lady because her phone goes off, and he takes the phone and stuffs it down her throat, like so she chokes on the phone, and you can see you can see the glow from the phone ringing in her throat.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
there's many of people I've wanted to take their phone and shove it down there.
I was like, go Leatherface, you hero.
Yes.
Yeah, like I said, I'm glad you guys cleared that up for me, because it was like very confusing for the Halloween franchise.
It is.
Because it was like, this is not making no sense. If you'd have shown them in maybe the order they came out, I'd understand it better. But yeah, it was a
if they don't even
conglomerate.
say it, right?
Yeah, and it was like, what happened to Jamie Lee Curtis? Because then I watched Halloween 1 and 2, and it was somebody completely different, and it was like, wait a minute, this is not making any sense. And then, like you said, with the Celtic, the Rob Zombie thing with the mom and young Michael Myers standing there with the white horse.
Yeah.
And it's almost time. It's almost time. Not yet. She's not ready. And it was like, what? What? Okay, I missed something along the way there. Okay, she's in his head and everything else. And it was like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I know. I hear you.
That was weird. I enjoyed the first two, the two originals. I totally enjoyed.
Yeah, they're the good ones. Then you get a couple, 3 mediocre ones, and then you get the 20 years after, and then the resurrected thing, which is terrible.
Yeah, it's amazing. I'm amazed this franchise has lasted so long. With the way the movies were.
I think it is because they're very basic. I mean, even though they have the atmosphere and the psychological bit, it's not like it has a deep lore,
That's true.
And they're relatively cheap to make.
Oh yeah, all they had to do was follow the previous movies, but they couldn't do that, which is what Disney Lucasfilm has been doing, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just a mess.
Well,
Well,
and
that's
you
what.
know that you can watch them, and even when they completely suck, you're pretty much entertained.
Yeah, they're all
That's true.
entertaining.
That's true. But I still like to go to my old standbys where I go back to Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing.
Oh yeah.
Uh, that's just home for me for Halloween. It's like you can't beat the Mummy, uh, the original Werewolf with Lon Chaney, the Van Helsing, Dracula. Um, those are just classic. And I mean, there's been so many incarnations of Dracula. One movie I like that doesn't get the praise it should have is Fright Night.
Oh, I
Oh,
love Fright Night.
that's one of Mara's favorite movies.
Oh, I love Fright Night.
Yeah, if you're ever going to talk about that one, have her on.
Yeah,
'Cause,
because
it's probably
I
watched
love
it 50 times.
I love Roddy McDowall in that movie. I I absolutely love him to death. You know,
It's
and
it's like Christie with the Tremors movies. That's
aha.
Mara and Fright Night. It's just
Oh yeah. I absolutely love the heck out of that movie.
she's
It's
a huge Hammer horror film enthusiast too, by the way.
oh, hi
Yeah.
Soul Assassin. Glad you could be here.
Hello.
Yeah, I love Hammer horror, but you know that. You're a big Hammer horror person, so you can't beat those actors and
No,
the atmosphere alone.
it's
I
it's
mean,
because of the sets, and
uh-huh.
I think maybe Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing have both have great clarity of voice, right? So that gives their voices a little bit of a punch and uniqueness, right?
Uh-huh.
So it makes you pay attention to the lines that are spoken. And I think
That's
it's something Alec Guinness said. I saw him in an interview. He said one of the best traits an actor can have is clarity of voice, because you convey the information in the spoken lines perfectly.
Yeah.
hmm
And I think that that's why actors like that are unparalleled nowadays.
Yeah. And you see it with Alec Guinness as well.
Mm-hmm.
Every line he speaks in Star Wars is perfectly clear. Every single word, you can tell which word he's saying, right?
Yeah. The art of
Same thing with
elocution.
Cushing.
yes. And that's probably because of the way they were trained.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
Their stage training.
Yeah, and
Well, and radio.
You see it with Charles Dance as well. He has the same thing.
Yeah.
yeah, that's true, Teresa. That's like I love the old radio serials. Like I got hooked on The Shadow
Mm,
as a radio serial,
yeah.
and that's very cool. The old time, and for your imagination,
Yes.
if you listen to any of those old time horror radio serials, what it does and puts in your head is amazing.
Oh,
Yeah.
you know
And
what you
it
should.
requires
sorry.
an active imagination.
You need to check out Bruce Campbell's books on audio. Uh, they're written in the first person, and he narrates them.
Oh, that
And
would be
he
fun.
has Ted Raimi with him, who tends to be in every one of his movies, often 2 or 3 times as different characters. He's in there, and they're doing sound effects, because in one of the books, Bruce Campbell gets a part in a big Hollywood production, right? He's
Uh-huh.
basically, a different version of himself, kind of, and he's supposed to play a doorman, and he gets a job as a doorman to research the role, and some politician shows up, and he's about to enter the door, and Bruce makes like a sudden move towards the door to open the door, right?
Uh-huh.
And the security people grab him, and they like twist his arms behind his back and breaks a couple of his fingers and stuff, and you can hear someone breaking a couple of carrots in half next to the microphone, and then Bruce Campbell just goes, "Urgh," right?
Yeah,
It's
those are
almost like
great.
a radio play. Get them. There's like three of them.
Oh, that sounds fun. Everybody in the chat, tell me what your favorite horror movie is for this time of year. And I will ask the same question of you two. What is your go-to horror movie for Halloween?
I will only reply if I get to do a top three because I can't pick one.
Okay.
Making conditions.
Yes.
Yes. So Teresa, what do you like to watch at this time of year?
The movie I always rewatch, no matter what, during October is The Exorcism of Emily Rose. I love that movie.
It's just because it has a rose in it.
No, I just really enjoyed it. I saw it when it came out, and I'm like, dang, this is good. And it just has become a bit of a cult classic in my little Halloweenish kind of thing. It's good.
Okay.
It's scary. It's incredibly well acted. The cast is amazing. And what makes it so interesting is it's about an exorcism, but they also make a very strong case that maybe it's not happening. If that makes sense. It's
okay.
Yeah, that they do it in the context of a court situation where a girl dies during an exorcism, and the priest is being charged with second-degree murder, and part of the prosecution is proving that everything he did was wrong because she just should have been in psychological care. And so the prosecutor kind of is this is all the reasons why it really wasn't an exorcism, it really wasn't the devil, and gives very, very plausible reasons. And then at the same time, there's all the reasons why it really is an exorcism going on. So it messes with your mind a little bit. And it makes you think. It's really good.
Okay, that's interesting.
It's got the chick from Dexter in it. She plays Emily Rose. She's amazing. Like, she does all just stuff just with her own face and stuff.
Jennifer Carpenter.
Yes, Jennifer Carpenter. Thank you.
And
it's a fantastic performance.
What's yours?
Well, I always tend to watch The Shining and Halloween 1. And what else do I watch every? Oh, The Fog. Yeah, The Fog, Halloween, and The Shining.
Ah, okay.
All from around within the same few years, actually. Early 80s, late 70s.
Okay. Yeah. Now, see, I get out my Hammer horror classics because I can't just have one. I do a lot of those. And of course the Scream franchise. Maybe I do like the one, there's It's the Dracula movie that has Frank Langella in it. And I can't remember the name.
Oh, yes.
What is the name, Teresa?
I don't.
Is it
I don't
just
remember the name, but no, that one's really good.
I can look it up.
Yeah. It was
Is
in
it
the
just
70s, right?
yeah, just Dracula maybe?
It could be.
I'll
That
find out in a few.
oh, thank you. I love that movie.
Yeah, that's a really, really good one.
Yeah, it's. Wait a minute. Yeah, he played Dracula on Broadway, and then played it again in a movie, and he was starring opposite of Laurence Olivier.
Yep. I
Yes.
mean, just Laurence
What?
Olivier alone.
Yes. Is it just called Dracula?
Yeah,
I think it is.
it's
Okay.
from 70s. Let's see. It's from
There's so many good horror movies that came out. That's kind of like I like the one that had Alia in it.
yeah, Queen of the Damned.
Yes,
Oh.
Queen of the Damned. That
Yeah.
was a good movie.
Dracula is from 1979.
Oh, thank you.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's when I was born. And that's Donald Pleasance in it too.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a whole bunch of Brits.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. That's a very good movie. I also like the one that had what is it? Is it Dracula 2000?
3000.
3000?
It's got Rutger Hauer in it, right?
Oh, Rutger Hauer.
He played Dracula in the Buffy movie as well.
Yes, the original Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah.
Hi, Arwen Avalon. Thank you for showing
Hello.
up. That's great.
Hi, Arwen. That's an
yeah,
elf.
yes, very elf. You have two elves now. Hey. And yeah, I changed my avatar for this because I do like the Underworld series. I do like it. And we haven't even gotten to those. Those are actually fun for this time of year. There's an old movie that everybody I think it's called The Raven, and you should check it out because it's so funny, and it's a funny horror spoof basically because it has Vincent Price, it has Jack Nicholson in it, Boris Karloff, the guy with the eyes. What's his name? Peter Lorre with the funny voice.
Let me look.
It's hilarious. It's a fun horror movie. Well, thank
I see what you mean. Guys. Okay.
He always had, quit giving me them bug eyes. You know,
Yeah.
I do not know when it was made, but it is fun, guys. It's an old movie, but it is so much fun. Or if you do any of the Poe movies that had Vincent Price in it, you know, like The Pit and the Pendulum.
That one has Well, the one I saw had Lance Henriksen in it, I think, and Oliver Reed.
Oh, I love Oliver Reed.
Oh yes, I love Oliver Reed.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going back to a lot of the old ones. That's like the Tomb of Lygia. Bet you guys have you seen that one?
No,
Yeah. Okay.
sorry.
I, I could pull out a ton of yes, I am a big Hammer horror film if you can't tell. Um, Tomb of Lygia, and then there was oh goodness, I'm trying to think of another one. There was one with what is it? It's called. It had Roman Polanski in it, which was amazing in a few of them. Or there was one. He was the vampire hunter.
I don't know.
Yeah, they were all British movies, basically. The British know how to do old horror very well. I love it.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
British know how to do everything well when it comes to drama.
Yeah,
hmm
they also do
And
coffee
she.
quite well without hamburgers and chocolate in it.
Oh, for crying out loud!
So Assassin says that picture is actually Lady Toriel when she's hunting victims in her forest. Yep. Abbott and Costello, Dead and Loving It, are fun to watch. Oh yes. Abbott and Costello, Meet the Werewolf, Meet Frankenstein. Um, that's kind of like the funny one that Don Knotts did, The Ghost of Mr. Chicken. I don't know if any of you guys have seen that one.
No.
You'll have to watch it if you like Don Knotts. It's complete comedy. But there's so many genres for everybody for Halloween.
Yeah.
It's amazing. There's
Orwin was saying the Fearless Vampire Hunters film.
yes, that's what it is.
She knows her
Yes.
stuff. Probably because she's an elf.
She knows the one I'm talking about. And the lady that plays in it, you know the lady I'm talking about, Stig, if you ever would see this. She has long dark hair. She's still a beautiful woman.
Catherine
But she
Zeta-Jones?
No. This is old school. The Fearless Vampire Hunters. She was in a lot of the Hammer horror films. She has dark hair, black eyes. She would either play like a vampire or she would play one of the ladies that got killed.
I think I
I
know who it is. She was a Bond lady too.
Yes. And she still looks. Yeah, I can't Google because I would be right off the stream.
Let's see. Hammer horror movies tips.
That's my phone. I can't do anything, guys, because I'm on my phone. I'm not on a computer.
Yeah, I'll find her. She's I know who it is. She didn't do much except for that, I think. She did some Hammer stuff and then she was in a Bond movie.
Yeah, she's still a gorgeous lady, but the Fearless Vampire Hunter, she had a big part in that one. That's right, Ancient One. yeah, it's amazing. Some of how what I find amazing is some of the stables
Oh,
that people
the Fearless Vampire Hunters had Sharon Tate in it too,
Oh
who
my.
got killed
yes,
by the Manson family.
yes,
Wasn't she married to the creep Roman
Yep.
Polanski.
Polanski? Yeah.
Yes. Mhm. Um, that's I find it fascinating that
Oh,
certain franchises have stayed because we start talking and then we start naming off a whole bunch of movies. But yet, basically, everybody goes back to Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween franchise.
do you know who else is in this movie? Ronald Lacey, the guy who plays the Gestapo Nazi in Indiana Jones 1, the guy who burns his hand.
Oh, okay.
He's in it. He
Yes.
plays the village idiot.
Oh, okay. Well, hi, Rookie Critic. Great to see ya.
Hello.
Let's see. I've got to watch around at least 5 horror Halloween films I haven't seen yet. Trust me, there's a ton. There is a ton, old, new, and in between. That's kind of like I Know What You Did Last Summer. Would that be considered horror genre, or is that more suspense?
Oh, is it the lady? Is it Valerie Leon?
I think so, yes.
Yeah, because I looked up the Bond movie. Yeah, she. Oh, damn, she's 77 already.
Yeah. But it's amazing because you don't think about all these movies until you start doing a stream like this, and it gets this time of year, and then you see everybody getting excited about stuff they hadn't seen like in years as growing up as kids.
Yeah.
And I love it when people get talking. But it's basically the Halloween franchise, Nightmare on Elm Street, Saw now. But people need to take a look at the old stuff too, because that's where it all came from.
You
And
know what else is good for Halloween?
What?
The Addams Family.
yes,
That
yes.
that's a very good Halloween movie, even though it's not scary, but it has the goofy horror stuff.
Oh yes, fun stuff. All the fun stuff. Yeah, it's like, and what are you supposed to be? I am a
Yep.
serial killer. We look like everybody else.
Yeah, those are fun.
I've only seen the first one though, but people keep saying the second one is better, so I'm gonna watch that one this October.
Mm, good goal.
Yeah, that's a fun one. That's a fun one. You'll like it.
Adam's Family Values.
Hmm. Yes, you'll love it when the kids get sent away to camp. Let's put
Oh,
it that way.
oh no.
He'll love that section of the movie. You'll love
They've
it.
done a couple of animated movies with the Addams Family now too.
Yeah, they're coming out with one, or they have one out.
Yeah, it's the
Uh,
second one, second animated.
Her pizza has arrived. You're making me hungry. Stop that.
Ooh, pizza.
I only have fish and shit.
Hey, fish is good.
Not
good for
every
you.
day.
No. Well, that's what you're
Uh.
going to be able to have when the zombie apocalypse happens.
No, because I'll be a zombie killing people.
Oh, so you're going to join the zombies. Oh, I see how it is.
Yeah, probably gonna get bitten. Someone knocks on the door, I open up. Fuck, it's a zombie. Okay, just fight and get it over with. You know.
Yeah, I haven't really watched that many zombie movies. I mean, I was more like into uh the original Body Snatchers, like more sci-fi scary stuff.
Yeah, zombies are they're overdone now.
Yeah.
You know what they should do? They should do vegan zombies and have them go around town going grains. Ooh. And they eat people's
I'm
crops and then
yeah, I was gonna say, and they devastate the
yeah.
croplands instead of people.
Now
Um,
they'd probably eat AOC though because she's a vegetable.
Oh no.
there is a children's book that's called Bunnicula Bunny, and he's a vampire rabbit. If you ever, they're just
Aw.
fun. They're
Okay,
just fun.
I have a
And
vampire book. I haven't read it yet. It's written by George Martin.
Oh.
It's called Fever Dream, which is the name of a steamboat on the Mississippi in the 1800s. And
oh,
the guy has to transport a rich person, which turns out to be a vampire. He's transporting him up and down the river, and he's
Oh.
going ashore and
oh,
killing people.
cool.
I think. Yeah, it's not
Well,
a brick
guys,
either.
been we've been at this for an hour and a half, so I think we're going to call it good. This has been very fun. I appreciate it. And thank you, chat. Teresa,
You're
what have you got
very
going on?
robotic.
Ah. Well,
Okay,
actually,
how's that?
Better.
oh, there we are. Yeah, in about an hour and a half, I'm actually going to be having a stream about 3 classic horror movies: The Exorcist, The Omen, and Rosemary's Baby. The Devil's in the Details with my friend Maury from Once Upon a Fan, my fellow colleague, and maybe some others. I don't want to call anyone out here on the chat, but if people are awake, they will be there. Yes. And oh, and I'm going to be on Loki's Mischief channel tomorrow morning.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Well,
So
everybody tune in,
thank you.
and I will be over in your stream, so listening and maybe pop on because
Oh,
those are some good movies.
yeah, always
Um,
welcome.
Would you
Steve,
say it's
what?
going to be a hell of a stream?
It is going to be a hell of a stream. As we say, the devil is in the details.
Whatever
True,
possessed you to do that?
true. Steve, what have you got going on?
Nothing. Except
Nothing.
Friday for Maura's Mara Jade's. Well, it's Jade Shadow now, isn't it? I don't know.
Yeah.
That's her channel, Jade Shadow. We're talking about the top 3 cringy pop culture things that happened this week or whatever every
Okay.
Friday, and yeah, it's difficult to stick to only 3 things these days. Very
Yeah.
difficult. So we have to pick and choose. Other than that, I don't think there's. Well, are we doing the Lord of the Rings this week?
Oh, yes, we are. Duh, I forgot. Yes, the Fellowship of the Ring this Saturday at 12 p.m. Eastern.
Yep. That's it, I think.
Okay.
Unless someone
Well,
drags me up on something.
yeah,
if
I'm
ready.
gonna. Hopefully, I'll try to do one of these. I might do a birthday stream. Maybe. I don't know.
It's not my birthday.
Ah!
Oh, yours. Sorry.
Oh my gosh.
See, that's why I like October so much. I'm a birthday baby. So, hey.
That's when fall starts to kick in Norway. So
True.
we get to see. Well, it's getting dark again because during I guess from late April and actually early May till the end of August, we have daylight 24/7. So now we're heading
Okay.
into the dark
Yeah, I got
times, basically. So in December and January, we get like daylight from 10 a.m. till 4 p.m. So there's a lot of you get to see the
ah.
stars and the northern lights sometimes too. So that's cool. Plus, it's easier for me to
Well,
be
so
naked in the park and stuff because nobody
I'm
sees it when it's
very,
dark.
very jealous of you getting to see the Northern Lights.
It's not
I
that
know.
special.
Soul
Oh,
Assassin, tell your mother happy birthday for us.
Soul Assassin is saying that I might like 30 Days of Night. It's a good vampire film. I just told Teresa to watch that one
And
Yes.
I
just the
did.
other day.
Yep, I loved it. I thought it was great. Good movie. Good fun.
Very good vampire movie. Vampires are actually monsters in it. They're not emo teens.
Exactly. They don't
Yeah.
sparkle.
Yeah, they eat people.
Okay, everybody. Well, I'm still home, so I haven't gotten back to work yet. So hopefully, maybe
You're
I'll do another
robotic again.
stream if I feel like it. And thank you guys so much for being in the chat. I appreciate it. And thank
Yay.
both of you for coming on and talking. I've enjoyed it.
Yay.
Oh, this was lots of fun.
And clearing up a lot of the stuff I was confused about for Halloween.
Yeah, it's a mess. There's no other way to put it.
Thank you, Soul Assassin. I'm trying. I need to get the doctors off their butts and get things done. So,
Pains in the butt.
yeah, they are. Arwen Avalon, have a good one. Everybody, check out everybody else's channel that's in the chat. Subscribe to them. Arwen's great. Darth Aster, Soul Assassin, everybody. Stig, even though he wants no one there. And especially Teresa. She's almost to 500, I think.
Yep, 3 away.
And me, if you want to, I'd appreciate the subs. I'm only at 2. I'm a lowly channel. I'm only at like 256. So,
Hey, but it's fun stuff. It doesn't matter, you know.
Oh yeah, that's if you come to my channel, that's what you find is fun stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I do it, and that's why I enjoy live streaming. Just have a good time, and everybody have a good, enjoy themselves, have a laugh, and have a laugh on us.
Yes,
We're here to make you smile. So
I'm not, but they are.
Oh, you're just
Steve
just
never smiles.
I'm here to
I
make them tremble.
Yeah, and chuckle. Yeah, He's a
I'm
nasty
so
old
terrified.
Yeah, he's a nasty old Viking.
I'm not old.
Get off,
Not old.
Get off my lawn.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Even though I don't have a lawn, there's
Get
get off. Yeah. So just get off.
Oh no!
Oh my God.
No.
Okay, and on that note, everyone have a good journey. As I always say, it's not the destination, it's the journey. Enjoy your journey through life. Enjoy each other. Haha. And yes, have a great, great day, guys. And that's where we're going to end it.
And sniff glue and have unprotected sex.
No.
Oh,